what is going on, freedom fighters? Welcome back to another Tyranny Response Tuesday here on Break the Chains Media. It is February 24th, 2026, and I am your host, Corey. We're going to be jumping right into it. We're going to be talking about all the fun stuff. We've got exciting news. Today is the SCOTUS. I'm sorry, not SCOTUS. State of the Union. I always mix up SOTU and SCOTUS. But yes, State of the Union address tonight. We are doing the pregame party here. I've got an excellent State of the Union bingo card that I will put up on screen here in just a little bit so everyone can have a little screen grab that, hold on to that, be a part of that, because we're going for blackout, folks, because we're going to end up getting pretty sure every single one of those boxes are going to get checked off, and we'll get into that in just a second. What is going on in the chat? Hey, how you doing, Will? Appreciate you. Say hello in the chat if you are here right now. Welcome all my Rumblers. Welcome all my YouTubers. Welcome all my Twitterers, Xers, I don't know. Gen X, I don't know. What do you call it? I don't know. Maybe we'll figure out a name for that. But everyone here is considered a chain breaker here on Break the Chains Media. Thanks for hanging out here, being a part of the live stream. And folks, I just got done about 30 minutes ago testifying in support of a fantastic bill, a good bill that would allow for our election process to be remedied here to a certain degree. But of course, it was postponed indefinitely in the committee. Essentially, it was killed. It was killed in committee because these Democrats need to bolster and need to defend and hold up their automatic voter registration rigging operation, and that is happening here in the state of Colorado. So we're going to go over that. We're going to show you my testimony that I have pulled up. We're going to go over that bill. We're also going to go over another bill that they shockingly killed, and I will say shockingly because it was a bill that should have easily gotten bipartisan support. It was essentially a bill, SB 26055. It was a bill that would have allowed for, if I understand the bill correctly, the investigation or the any state teacher or administrator or anyone in the state education department who has been convicted of or in investigation under child abuse crimes would no longer be able to shift and change districts. And I might be badgering that because I did not testify for that bill. Unfortunately, I didn't have the time to do that. But we're going to get into that bill. And it was killed in committee. These cultural Marxists would rather defend child abusers than protect our children in our schools. And it is absolutely sickening. So we're going to get into that here. Just so much chaos that happens every day under the Golden Dome during these legislative processes. And then we're also going to talk about some Judicial Watch stuff. We're going to talk about, I got a clip pulled up from Phil Weiser. So welcome, say hello. Welcome for everyone in the chat. Appreciate you all being here. Give yourselves a round of applause for showing up and being part of the Chain Breakers here on Break the Chains Media. We do live streams 3 times a week here, at least on Break the Chains Media, whether you're on Rumble, whether you're on YouTube. Follow me on X at Break the Chains M, and you can also follow me. Check out the website, breakthechains.media. That is the website. That is the landing page. If you guys, if you guys are maybe you're a little older, you can follow me and find me on Facebook, Instagram, X, and YouTube, as well as Rumble. Everything is here for you. But the most important thing that you gotta do if you are check out the website here is go to top right corner, click on that Realm Walker Hot Sauce tab, and say hello to Realm Walker Hot Sauce. Travel the 9 realms of Norse mythology through hot sauce. We've got mild to extreme heat. Travel the 9 realms of Norse mythology through hot sauce. We have fantastic flavors. Niflheim, which is one of my milder ones. Jalapeno, tomatillo, cilantro, lime. Midgard is a little step up. You got Serrano, tomatillo, lime. And then some of my hotter folks, if you guys want a real hot sauce, we've got Muspelheim, which is a red super hot pepper and roasted red pepper. Arguably one of my favorite best sellers, favorite flavor, excellent flavor. And Ragnarok. Ragnarok is top tier, one of the hottest flavors you'll ever see. It's smoky, it's spicy, it's got everything you need. All of these hot sauces are fermented, hand-batched, homegrown here in the state of Colorado. If you want to support the channel here at Break the Chains Media, if you want to support Realm Walker Hot Sauce, follow Realm Walker Hot Sauce on Instagram and DM Realm Walker Hot Sauce and pick yourself up a bottle of Realm Walker Hot Sauce. Handmade, home batched, and naturally fermented. One of the best hot sauces you'll ever taste. So check that out there. And then we are actually just going to just jump right into it because we got a lot of stuff to get into. We got a lot of things to jump into, folks. And that'll be it. We're going to go to Phil Weiser here. We're going to Phil Weiser. So Phil Weiser, if you guys aren't aware, Phil Weiser is the state AG here in Colorado. He is a goon. He is running for governor here in the state of Colorado, and you know he looks like someone who was like one of the bench warmer for the soccer team, right? Maybe he did rounds of pickup tennis, you know, maybe for playing for the JV team. No, you know what? He was definitely playing amateur golf. Never really got anywhere. You spent more time on the driving range. This guy is a goon. This guy is a buffoon. Whiny ass Phil Weiser coming out again. Folks, keep a tally. And I've said this multiple streams now. We're going on multiple different instances for several months now. Breaking. We just filed our 55th lawsuit against the Trump administration and RFK Jr. The 55th lawsuit. Colorado believes, hold on, I don't even know if I can do a Phil Weiser voice, but Colorado believes in science. Vaccines save lives. We won't let a lawless administration jeopardize public health. I'll always fight to protect affordable health care and stand up for Colorado families. This guy is an absolute joke, a disgrace for the Mile High state of Colorado. Let's take a listen to what this buffoon has to say.
Today we just filed our 55th lawsuit against the Trump administration and against RFK Jr. for gutting access to vaccines. The illegal action here disregarded scientific evidence, broke the law, and undermined our public health. Vaccines help prevent diseases like measles. This action makes us more at risk. We're fighting back, we're in court, and once again, we're going to make sure we hold this administration to account. Today,
absolute joke. More often than not, this guy is just an utter disgrace. I posted this, right? Lord above, get out of here, right? No one asked you to waste your tax money on this. You are retarded. Folks, he has been doing this time and time again. This is our tax money going to frivolous lawsuits against the Trump administration. What kind of, this is an obvious seditious behavior, obvious defiance against federal government. Phil Weiser is one of the slimiest people in Colorado politics. Could not agree more, Will. Thank you for adding that, chiming in, because, and this guy's actually raising more money than Michael Bennet right now in the gubernatorial race for the Democrat candidacy for the governorship here in Colorado. So this guy, I think he's stacked over $4 million so far for his gubernatorial campaign. But if we don't call him out for his utter disgrace and his lack of professionalism, the fact that he is digging his heels in and further dividing Colorado away from the union that is the United States with his lawsuit, with his lawfare, with his antics. So I don't want him as our governor, and I don't think anyone should want him as our governor. So I just wanted to show this. The fact that we are on our 55th lawsuit is absolutely insane. All right. So with that being said, we are shifting gears. We're dropping out of here, and and then I've got this is actually talking about SB 26055. I've got 058 pulled up. I've got some Judicial Watch stuff pulled up. We'll get into that. This is from my testimony. We're going to watch that in just a second. But very quickly, I did want to talk about tomorrow. I do excuse me. Tomorrow, I have. Hold on, it's coming one more time. Every single time. The more I talk, the more ramped up I get, the more anxious I get. I'm like Alex Jones here. I'm like Jojo the Indian circus boy with a pretty new pet. Name that movie, folks. Name that movie. Every time I talk, my throat just gets all a little tickly. Then I get all amped up, and then I start hacking and coughing. So apologies, I'm not a professional news reporter. I'm just a real one. I'm just bringing you honest and trustworthy and reliable and with a little brevity, with a little lightheartedness, information about Colorado and about politics here. But yes, tomorrow, under the Golden Dome in the Mile High city of Denver, Colorado, HB 26-1037 is being heard in committee, and I highly encourage everyone. See that pinned comment right there at the top of the chat, whether you're on Rumble or on YouTube. Should still be there on YouTube, hopefully on YouTube. Sign up to testify here, and you click on that link, and you punch in the HB 26-1037, and you sign up to testify in support of this bill. Because right now, if you haven't noticed, and if you're not aware, the prime sponsors of this bill are a odd couple, to say the least. We've got Representative Jennifer Bacon, who is a Democrat, Senator Lisa Cutter, who is a Democrat, and one of the most based representatives in Colorado Congress right now, Representative Ken DeGraff, bipartisan support of this bill to ban government purchasing of personal data from third party. So I highly recommend and I highly encourage, if you can do an online testimony, which saves people a lot of time, but you can testify in support of this bill. This bill prohibits law enforcement and other government entities from purchasing or otherwise obtaining anything of value, certain personal data from third parties. Law enforcement agencies and other government entities are also prohibited from sharing individuals' personal data between themselves. Exceptions are created for obtaining personal data, including after obtaining a judicial warrant, subpoena, or court order when an individual consents to sharing their data, and in the case of an emergency involving a threat to a person's life or physical safety. Folks, this is a no-brainer. This should easily get to the body of the whole. This should easily pass with bipartisan support. So all the voices need to get out there. We need to support this information. We need to support good bills like this, and especially when you see people on both sides of the aisle coming together, understand that personal privacy, the Fourth Amendment, the right of unwarranted searches and seizures of personal private data is a paramount and is an important issue that we should be holding to top priority here in the state of Colorado. So that is tomorrow. I believe it's upon adjournment. So really, what upon adjournment means is it could happen at any time. So just keep an eye. Go to Colorado Legislative website, coleg.us, I think, coleg.gov. I always get it mixed up, but check it out. Watch the schedule. It probably won't go into committee until after 1 or 2 o'clock, but that is the news. It's going to be in the House Judiciary Committee, so keep an eye on that. It's not supposed to kick off till 1:30, and then probably won't be heard until later in the day. So that is HB 26-1037, and we support that one, folks. And we are going to cut. We're going to cut into another. We're going to mix it up a little bit. And now we're shifting gears. We're doing this State of the Union pregame. So if and when y'all decide to jump in and watch that State of the Union address, we know as well as anyone else, Donald Trump's going to be taking the floor, and he's going to be spouting his same old talking points, the same old phrases, those typical Trumpian tropes that we all love to hear. So here is your State of the Union bingo card, and I did post this on Twitter. You can check that out. Thank you to oh man, I'm drawing a blank right now on who posted it. I gave him some credit. I found this. I searched for State of the Union bingo, found this, fantastic, and I shouted him out on my post. But screen grab this right now, because we're going to have the best State of the Union address, the best State of the Union bingo card. You're going to hear Golden Age. You're going to hear Iran. You're going to hear Law and Order, America First. The cartels, they're dangerous. They're running rampant. They're burning down cities. This is Love Me, Make America Great Again, or MAGA, as we like to say. Brave men and women of our military and law enforcement. You know as well as I do that we're going to see many of these be spouted across the State of the Union address from those Trumpian tropes. So we're going to see this. This is going to be great. Stock market, dude. The stock market. We're gonna hear all this stuff. So screen grab that, folks. And later tonight, we're all gonna be watching it. I've got some other things, some other prior engagements I have to be involved in. A lot of working gears happening here in the Mile High City in Jefferson County. We're getting ready for caucus, so I'm going to be doing a caucus meeting slash SOTU watch party. But anyways, we are going to be running through a rundown here. We're going through all the bills and all the information of what broke down today under the Golden Dome in the Mile High City. SB 26055. Let's actually see if I can actually pull this up really quick. I did have it pulled up, but I dropped it. It's very, this should have been one of the easiest bills to pass on bipartisan approval. It just made a lot of sense. And Senator Mark Baisley actually was the prime sponsor of this. So let's do a rundown of this. This is the plain text of the bill. It's one freaking sentence. One freaking sentence. Okay? Folks, SB 26055, registry in Colorado to Department of Education for school personnel. Concerning a registry in the Department of Education for the disciplinary history of school personnel. Extremely simple bill. Prime sponsor, Senator Mark Baisley, gotta represent. This bill creates a registry in the Department of Education for school personnel who have been found to violate the school district's conduct and discipline code or their employee contract. Extremely simple, extremely plain text. I'm surprised that this hasn't already been instituted years before. It makes perfect sense to hold school personnel accountable if they were violating school conduct, district codes of conduct, right? But no, this bill was postponed indefinitely. This bill was killed in committee because the cultural Marxist Democrats would rather defend and prop up these teachers' unions and these teachers who would rather defend and protect violent child abusers or violent people at their administration who have a history of criminal or dangerous conduct resulting in harm to children within the school district. We had many great proponents of this bill, a lot of good testimony in support of this bill. Lindsay Datko from Jeffco Kids First, and a lot of other proponents of child advocacy groups talking about the misconduct of child exploitation, of child grooming and nefarious behaviors of school administration and school personnel. These Jeffco Kids First calls out these child abusers, and they're all rampant across the state of Colorado. But this bill would have made a registry and would have made a list of individuals who should not be applying for positions across district. And this is what really happens. School personnel and staff who maybe violate school district code of conduct and disciplinary codes will either lose their job by choice or by force and then reapply across district lines or in another county or in various different institutions within our own state, and they'll get the job back. Prime example was in Arvada, Colorado. We had a teacher who was exploiting children in dangerous and sexual harassment ways and worse in Arvada High School, and then proceeds to get a job across county lines in another county, completely disregarding his prior disciplinary actions and things that were done. So this was killed in committee, unfortunately. Absolutely shame, but it comes as no surprise when we're dealing with cultural Marxists and color revolutionaries in and under the state capitol, hiding under the guise of Democrat representatives and Democrat senators. So we're going to get into all that here. I've got a post from Rebecca Peters on Twitter here, and we're going to break it down here real quick right now. SB 26055 was voted down in committee. A current Jeffco Board of Education member and 2 former members testified in favor of this bill. The sole testimony opposed came from the teachers' union. Their argument was duplicity. Below is a sample of acceptable guidelines they have in place. This handwritten reference check resulted in 40 counts of sexual misconduct against children. The unions need to be dismantled. They protect predators and actively oppose protecting children. This is all handwritten here, and it's highlighted right here on one of this handwritten on this handwritten paper here. Recommends asking more questions. He was vague about leaving. That's all that was written. This is what they define as a written contest of this individual when he was applying for a job, right? This individual, and I should actually pull up the article, honestly, because it kind of broke headlines here in Colorado. Yeah. Right here. Bing bang boom. From the Denver Pest. No, not this. Wait, hold on. Was this it? No, this is oh yeah, no. This was it. Yeah. Alejandro. Oh wait, was this? No, this is a different one. This is a different one. Excuse me. I find more things every day. Yeah, this one here from 9 News. Okay, let's take a listen here, folks. This is a example of the kind of people that the Colorado Teachers Union. This is the kind of people that the Colorado Teachers Union are defending when they killed SB 26055. Let's take a listen from 9 News.
Prosecutors filed dozens of felony counts today against a former Arvada high school teacher accused of photographing and filming students and others. Some depicted boys as young as 12 and some of them engaged in sex acts. Patricio Llanes was told in court he faces 40 felony counts of sexual exploitation of a child. Prosecutors also filed 10 separate misdemeanor charges accusing him of unauthorized practice of psychotherapy. The sessions with students and others included the use of hypnosis. Llanes is due back in court January 20th.
Incredible. Yeah, so that one, and he was a former Arvada high school teacher. And this just goes to show you the level of depravity that we're dealing with when these people kill various bills that should be very simple, very straightforward, very easy to understand, very bipartisan nature. That these bills, this body, this legislative body refuses to acknowledge that there is a rampant case of child exploitation, human trafficking, and child endangerment. Many different degrees of this. Colorado is a breeding ground for all of this, and this bill being killed is a testimony to the fact that the people in power, the legislative body, these representatives, so-called representatives, that should be protecting our children, that should be protecting our own lives, that should be protecting our own well-being here in the state of Colorado, do not put our priority. They do not put us first. They would rather protect these dangerous individuals who are exploiting our own children in Colorado, and it's absolutely disgusting. Hate to see it, but yeah, they killed this bill, and it's an absolute joke. Absolute joke. So props to Mark Baisley for actually putting this out on the floor and trying to make something of it, but it's showing the Democrats' true colors. They would rather protect and defend against these child assault individuals. They would rather see our children trafficked. They would rather see our children have sex changes. They would rather see our children completely abused in all variety of ways. They defend bills like that rather than passing bills like this. What a shame. So yeah, that is what happened before the testimony that I testified on. I testified in favor of this modification to voter registration bill that was sponsored by Senator Zamora Wilson. Highly encouraged everyone to try to show up for this. I know it was kind of last minute, but this was also killed in committee, and it's also showing the Democrats' true colors when it comes to election integrity and election, the voter rolls, and how we keep honest voter rolls in the state of Colorado. So, this one here This one here was twofold. This one here, this bill, SB 26058, was a modification to our current voter registration here in the state of Colorado. Prime sponsor was Senator Senator Linda Zamora Wilson, and it did two things. It made sure that it made sure that if an individual that was registered to vote that did not vote in 2 consecutive general elections be removed from active status into an inactive status. And I propose that this bill would encourage people to actually be active in the voting process, be active in their representatives and the election process and what bills are actually in session, and be more inclined to participate in our sacred act of democracy, right? And it also deterred against low propensity voters for actually showing out, because we don't want to have low propensity voters or single issue voters showing up. If you're not going to show up for 8 years and still be on the voter rolls, I think that's a problem. But the biggest thing, and one of the largest proponents that I was in support of, was the fact that it modified how the automatic voter registration database took place through the Department of Motor Vehicles. So as it stands currently right now, the Department of Motor Vehicles automatically registers every single individual who gets a driver's license or an identification card, automatically registers them to vote, whether they are a citizen or a non-citizen. And I've got the evidence. This bill would have allowed an extra step, would have added an additional step. This bill would have added an additional step to make guardrails so that everyone didn't just automatically get registered unaffiliated as soon as they get registered through the DMV. It started the voter registration process, and the individual had to continue that process. Just one more step, a physical, it allowed the individual to add one more step to the process, and that would have been to either register under a party affiliation and or prove they are actually viable U.S. citizens eligible to vote in U.S. elections. Very clear and concise language, very simple language, but this bill was shot down in committee, killed in committee, another good bill killed in committee by these cultural Marxist progressive leftists who want to continue to defend and use the weaponization of this voter roll process and this entire gold standard of election integrity process here in Colorado. They continue to want to use that against the will of the people here in the state of Colorado. So with that being said, we're going to jump over here to my actual testimony. So without further ado, I myself will remain silent, but you will listen to me over there. So let's take it. Let's take it.
And now we will hear from Corey Blair. If you could introduce.
That is very loud. Hold on. I will turn that down because it is extremely loud. Let's back that up 10 seconds and we'll try it again.
And so I hope you will please vote yes on SB 2658. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And now we will hear from Corey Blair. If you could introduce yourself and state who you represent, you will have 2 minutes.
Thank you for taking my time, taking the testimony time. My name is Corey Blair. I'm with Break the Chains Media from Jefferson County. And I highly encourage a yes vote on SB 26058. It's not only going to be financially responsible, but it's going to abide with the Supreme Court, the supreme law of the land, the United States Constitution. For many years, the discussion of election integrity or free and fair elections has been a contentious issue for both the left and the right. Many claims of stolen elections or election interference often raise issue to the surface, but nothing gets resolved or remedied. This bill adds to our already gold standard of election process, as stated by Jenna Griswold and many others, by effectively keeping our active voter base up to date. We have over 4 million registered voters in the state of Colorado, and half are unaffiliated. These unaffiliated voters, both citizens and non-citizens, and yes, I do have the evidence, are automatically registered through the Department of Motor Vehicles. Currently, the onus is on the individual to modify or remove themselves from the voter rolls and registration. SB 26 would put that responsibility back to the rightful place, the state. In 2023, Colorado was sued by Judicial Watch, an election integrity watchdog group, citing the NVRA due to Colorado's lax standard regarding the cleaning out the voter rolls. That case was settled, and Colorado agreed to report and review updated voter roll data to Judicial Watch for the next 6 years. But lawfare shouldn't be the main driving factor to keep our voter rolls updated and clean. SB 26058 would also make anyone who hasn't participated in 2 consecutive general elections an inactive voter. Some may see this as voter suppression, and I would argue and state, why should someone continue to be a registered voter if they have not participated in 8 years? Proves to me that they do not care about our election process, and they may be low propensity voters. Inactive voters in the voter rolls is a simple example of how the question arises of election rigging or interference arises. In the first place, cleaning up our voter rolls as the active voter roll is a top priority, a great way to add safeguards for our current and great election standard, gold standard process. Please vote yes. Please ask me any questions that you might have. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Members, questions for this panel? Senator Zamora Wilson.
Fantastic. Did you like what I did there? Did you like how I sold it to them, how I made it happen to them? Because this is what you use. You have to use the Democrat buzzwords and the Democrat talking points to actually ever enter into their own minds, enter into their heads, right? This is what needs to happen. This is what should be happening, right? Trying to sell this narrative to them that in order to help bolster our already gold standard, we need to make sure we keep our voter rolls clean, right? If we have such a gold standard, if Jenna Griswold touts this top tier election effort here in Colorado, well, why don't we have this process already in place? Why don't we allow for the cleaning of regular voter rolls and the removal of inactive voters? Like, this makes perfect sense, right? So if you want a real gold standard, this is how you make it even more, shine up that gold a little bit more, right? Shine it up a little bit more, because this is, I was trying to basically goad them into basically understanding that, hey, like, calling you out on the fact that if you think that what we currently have is gold standard, there are better ways and more secure ways to ensure that our election process and our voter roll history, voter roll data is actually handled and appropriated effectively. And I will cite, and I will bring up, where is it at here? I do have, this is from Judicial Watch. This is actually the source that I use. Judicial Watch victory. Colorado agrees to settle a lawsuit over ineligible voters, agrees to extensive reporting and review of voter roll cleanup efforts. So Judicial Watch in 2023 settled with Colorado, and basically Colorado agreed that they are going to be cleaning up their voter rolls, and they're going to consistently report to Judicial Watch, because Colorado has one of the most dirtiest voter rolls. Colorado has some of the dirtiest and most lax standards when it comes to voter rolls. We have over, like I said in my testimony, we have over 4.5 million registered voters here in the state of Colorado, and more than half of them are unaffiliated. And the reason that more than half of them are unaffiliated is because they always get registered automatically through the DMV. Most of these people don't even realize that they're being registered. And if they do, they don't understand the next process to be taken. And I'm specifically talking to the non-citizens in this state. The non-citizens get driver's license, get identification cards, and everybody that rolls through the DMV gets added to the voter rolls automatically. And then it becomes the responsibility of the individual, if they're not a U.S. citizen, and I've pulled up the paperwork before on these live streams. You've seen it as well as me. I've got the data, I've got the receipts, that it says clearly on the voter registration paper, once you file through the DMV, it says, if you're not a U.S. citizen, you're not allowed to vote. Therefore, you must remove yourself, and you have to do this, that, and the other steps to remove yourself from the voter roll. So they're saying the quiet part out loud. They're saying the lie in a truth. They're making a lie sandwich, because what they're saying is that a non-citizen is already on the voter roll, and it's up to you, the non-citizen, to remove yourself. Do you see what I'm saying? And these people, the ones who just killed this bill, use that and weaponize that in every single Colorado election. And we see it every time. if you get enough padding, if you pad the numbers enough, if you pad the voter roll numbers enough, you're going to be able to manipulate and modify and interfere with our election process. And if you want the gold standard of election process, you need to institute voter roll cleanup. You need to honestly institute the SAVE Act. If we don't get the SAVE Act, and if we don't get the SAVE Act on a national level, we might never have fair elections ever again in this country. It's been a long time since we've ever had a fair elections. Arguably, I don't know when the last honest one was. Probably before we had any sort of electronic systems. But there are many different levels of corruption and compromised behavior that happens in our state and national elections. And the SAVE Act is a good bill, could be better, but between the combination of the SAVE Act, the NVRA, HAVA, all of these nationally, congressionally approved voter and election integrity laws, applying that to the states and applying that to the standard that the states have when they are the ones responsible in operating elections, this is holding Democrat strongholds and Democrat corrupt enclaves accountable when they defiantly go against the national, federal requirements for voter and election integrity. So, with that being said, Colorado is top on the list. You see the problems with Georgia. You see the problem with California. Nick Shirley right now going through all the corruption that's happening with California. Yeah. Great point on election integrity, says Will Long. James Wiley for Secretary of State solves this issue. I completely concur. James Wiley for Secretary of State here in the Colorado Mile High Centennial State. Check out Red Flame of Liberty, and you can be a part of James Wiley's campaign. You can help him out to hold Colorado election integrity to the highest regard. This is not a paid spot. I just know the guy, and I think James Wiley would be great as our Colorado Secretary of State. Shout out James Wiley and the Red Flame of Liberty. But yes, folks, so Judicial Watch, this is nothing new. So Judicial Watch has been a watchdog group for a very long time, and they made sure that Colorado was in accordance with the NVRA. Let's check it out here just as an example. Some of the data from Judicial Watch's lawsuit. The number of outdated registration removed by Colorado under a key NVRA provision increased after Judicial Watch filed suit, from 172,000 registrations for the reporting period ending in 2018 to 306,000 registrations for the period ending in 2022, an increase of 78%. So Judicial Watch, putting the pressure on Colorado, made sure that Colorado actually started cleaning up their voter rolls, which is a good thing. But that doesn't mean that what Colorado is doing currently is actually going to the fullest extent of what should be getting done. I do believe that there are other methods and other ways that Colorado is manipulating and obscuring and corrupting the Colorado voter data as it stands right now, which is why they're killing bills like this one and refusing to pass good bills that would bolster election integrity here in the state. They want to make sure the system is sloppy. These color revolutionaries, these cultural Marxists want to make sure that the rolls remain sloppy. Okay? This is a great post from Denver Fail. Little heavy on the wording. We're not going to go all over that, but this graphic here depicts it very, very well. He does a great work talking about election integrity and the standards and what actually happens. But wrapping up this whole election integrity voter roll situation, this is roughly a flow chart of how the election process is manipulated and abused in the state of Colorado. From Denver Fail on Twitter. Colorado Secretary of State Jenna Griswold cannot account for the unexplained mass edits after certification in a closed system with no transparency on how, why, or who. The people that stole the Colorado elections used AI and closed software systems in the Colorado election system to change the data. The anomalies post-election certification in the CSV are the smoking gun. This is illegal to change these files post-election. Voter history should be immutable post-election. Only updates and for provisional cures, not retroactively mass editing. Post-certification changes are rare and usually for clerical fixes. Hundreds of thousands would be unprecedented in a scream manipulation or massive error. How they steal elections in Colorado. Non-citizens, illegal voting entry points. For nationals, felons, and individuals with multiple registrations exploit lax ID certifications to fraudulent votes. This is what I just testified in opposition to by supporting this bill. Cleaning up the entry points of registrant voters. Cleaning up the entry points of registering the voters from the initial jump street, from the beginning. If we clean up how voters get registered, we clean up the process in which the voter roll data has to work with, right? Targeting switching entry points, ballot switched mid-process, often with pre-filled preferences for specific candidates, ghost entry, fake ballot entry points, bogus registration to create ghost voters who receive and cast fake ballots. That's why they have such a robust voter roll data, right? If they have a lot of room to work with, if they got a lot of wiggle room when it comes to unregistered, unaffiliated voters, you can obviously see where ghost or fake ballot entry points might come into play. If you have a large database or a large subset of voters, you can manipulate the outcomes. Central black box processing stage. Centralized unverified processing obscures fraud through lack of transparency and electronic voter machines, and the software that is installed within these machines is a huge factor to that as well. Blending, distribution, and method stage. Fraudulent votes mixed with legitimate ones to dilute the detectability. And the official tally impact stage. Engineered tallies emerge, often sliding favor preferred candidates. This is something that Tina Peters brought to light during her persecution against the 2020 election, and what she found in Mesa County and all of that, and the fact that there's discrepancies and disparaging levels of votes and degrees of voting discrepancies, just a few percentage, and all that. That's what they do, is they shave a few percentage points from very red districts and very red counties to shave and manipulate and find other ways to modify and encourage election interference, right? So this is one of the many ways that they do it. This is just an example. It's still not fully flushed out. I was reaching out to Denver Fail, and I said that there's still some a little bit of honing in and cleaning up you can do as far as the preferred flow. But I do like everything he says here. A lot of great points, a lot of great things to think about, right? This is not verified. This is not 100% factual. Just because the system in which we're discussing is very convoluted, and it's very obfuscated. It's very discreet, and Colorado refuses to open up their transparency doors when it comes to how our elections operate. Why is Jenna Griswold denying the DOJ access to the unredacted voter rolls? Why is Jenna Griswold doing that? If we have such a gold standard of election processes here in the state of Colorado, why is Jenna Griswold denying the federal DOJ unredacted voter roll data? The DOJ is suing her over this. If we have such good standards here in Colorado, wouldn't you think that our Secretary of State would be more than willing to cooperate with the federal government in requests for voter roll data? This is the smoking gun, folks. This is smoking gun 101. The fact that Jenna Griswold is in defiance, and not just Jenna Griswold, but every single Democrat in our state legislature, in our state executive branch, and whether it's Phil Weiser, Governor Polis, Jenna Griswold, you name him, they're all here saying that Colorado has one of the best, most successful, 99 plus a million percent election integrity standards here in Colorado. And I smell a load of crap. Yeah. So, rant done on election integrity, folks. Thank you all for hanging out. Smash that thumbs up button. Be a part of the chain gang here, folks. Be a part of the chain breakers. Appreciate everyone hanging out. Appreciate everyone on Rumble. Appreciate everyone on YouTube. And shout out to all of my fans. Shout out to all of them out there, because you are what make it possible. You are what makes this possible, and I do appreciate everyone here with that. Let me see if do I have anything else I really want to get into. I got the 058, talked about that. Judicial Watch. I think we wrap it up for the day here, folks. I think we did a pretty good job when it comes to the rundown. We did a pretty good job. We're doing good time. We're making it happen. But folks, we're not even a third of the way done. We're not even halfway through the legislative session here in Colorado, and you are going to see more and more bills and legislation come to committees and come to the floor votes here in the coming weeks regarding election integrity, regarding the parental rights, regarding taxation, regarding different fees and institutions and various different restrictions of our rights. I mean, there was a puppy bill a couple days ago. That's absolutely ridiculous. Why is our government spending legislative time discussing whether we can or cannot sell puppies? I mean, and they claim it's for the puppy mill industry and all this other stuff. They're more worried about puppies, but they don't have a problem with cutting children's genitals off, right? Make it make sense. They'll defend. They'll make sure puppies get. Our legislative body will make sure that you cannot buy puppies, but at the same time, they'll make sure that our children are being taught by child abusers, and they'll make sure that our elections are even more non-secure, even more open to fraud, extending the window for mail-in ballot harvesting, extending the time of drop-off ballots in various districts statewide, decriminalizing prostitution, folks. There are so many different things that our current legislative body in the state of Colorado is operating for and promoting, rather than focusing on real, important, reasonable issues that matter most to Coloradans. So I will be continuing to speak loudly about that. I will be the one continuing to speak out about that, making sure that you get the information that you need, that you can be active on the scene, that you can be actively involved. And it's important because, I ask, how many bills have you testified for? How many bills are you aware of that's being passed right now? And this is what it comes down to. And I'm not trying to throw anyone under the bus, but the fact is that these legislative sessions take place during the work week, during the work day, and it's very difficult for a lot of people. I might as well, right? Might as well. Something that I wanted to address was the fact that these legislative sessions take place during the workday. They take place during work hours, so it's very difficult for a lot of people to show up and testify against these bills. So when I ask, what bills have you testified for? What bills are you aware of happening in the legislative process here in Colorado or in your own state? And I ask you, just being aware of them and speaking to your neighbors and speaking to other individuals about the process and what the content of these legislative bills that they're passing is going on right now. When you talk to your neighbors, when you talk to other individuals, and if you get the time to sign up to testify, whether online or in person, it's almost irrelevant when they pass or when they fail bills, because we already know, to the majority, most of them are, we already know the way that these bills are going to go nine times out of 10, because our body is so bifurcated right now. The Colorado legislature is basically being run by a bunch of cultural Marxists. So when we get bills that are egregiously against the right of the people, the will of the people, they're openly trying to decriminalize prostitution. They're banning the sale of puppies, but they're going to defend and they're going to kill bills that put sex offenders, that teach children on a registry. They're going to kill bills that allow for the cleaning of our voter rolls. They're going to kill bills that are pro-America, and they're actually trying to make our state more financially viable, more financially feasible. these progressive Marxists, these cultural commies, right? These culturally institutionalized color revolutionary Marxists. That's a mouthful, right? These people that operate under the Golden Dome here in Colorado have one agenda: to disarm, to dismantle, and to destroy every facet of your life. These gun bills. They passed the gun bill into the body of the whole to be heard by the House regarding the banning of 3D printed firearm material, or 3D printed material for blueprints for firearms. And in the bill, it specifically talks about a digital model. So some of these games like Call of Duty, some of these cosplayers use 3D printed 3D models to represent various firearms. All of that would be banned under this bill. They're trying to ban 15-inch barrels in Colorado. Okay, they're trying. We're getting some wins in some places, right? Today, House Bill 261108, the fingerprint bill for the ATF, I believe it was the ATF or FFLs. I can't remember, but it was basically trying to build a fingerprint registry that would be used within the state and be sold to various parties. That actually was killed in committee. So we're getting some wins, folks. When I'm asking you to understand, when it comes to the legislative process and understanding the bills that they're pushing forward, it's not whether we win or lose and the bill passes or fails. It's the conversations that were being had with our neighbors, with our families, with our coworkers, with everyone in Colorado. If you start talking about some of these insane bills that they're trying to push through the Colorado State Legislature, and you talk to these people and you get on a common ground with them, you say, man, this bill's absolutely insane. Like they're trying to outlaw the sale of puppies. But meanwhile, they're decriminalizing prostitution. They're trying to turn our state into a sex and drug tourist despot. And I don't want to be a part of that. So, and I don't think anyone really wants to be a part of that. I think we all want to see a better future for our family, for our children, and trying to make Colorado successful and a safe place to live. And the cultural Marxists, these progressive leftists that are in the state capitol right now, are destroying every aspect of our lives. And we have to stand up against it. And the first thing we have to do is use the First Amendment. Use the words that come out of your mouth, right? Use the freedom of speech to have difficult and sometimes easy conversations with individuals, because this is what we need to do. Having these conversations mean the most. Having the conversation is the first part in our fight for the future of Colorado. So with that being said, I do appreciate everyone here on this live stream. I do appreciate everyone that showed up here on Break the Chains Media. Make sure you smash that thumbs up button. Be a part of the Chain Breakers here on Break the Chains Media. And, I can't stress it enough that we just have to keep hammering it home, folks. Keep being a part of the change. Keep being a part of that future that you want to see in the world, right? We want to make sure that hold on, let me see here. It looks like they're going, but not quite yet. We can do we want to? I mean, maybe. I'm trying to see if there's anyone on a live stream right now that we can actually raid that's actually live streaming. Cause let's see. Is Redacted on? Is Badlands on? Yeah, Badlands. Let's go raid Badlands. We're gonna go raid Badlands. They're doing it live right now, but everyone's gonna be doing State of the Union watch parties. So make sure you find your favorite channel. Make sure you find your favorite content creator and be a part of their. Hold on. Why is it being difficult right now? And I always like watching Steven Crowder. I love watching Louder the Crowder. Wait, that's not what I wanted to do. Is it this one? That's that one. It's that one, right? Make sure you pull out your State of the Union bingo card, right? That's what we want to do. We want to make sure we get that. But without further ado, we are lighting up the raid engines here on Rumble, and we're going over to Badlands Media. Badlands Media is always crushing it. They're always doing a great job. So appreciate everyone being here on Break the Chains Media, Tyranny Response Tuesday. Smash that thumbs up button. Share this video with all your friends and family. Look out for the short clips coming for you. And as always, folks, fight for freedom and never give up. We will see you next time.